I made it a point to show it to other people that it can be done as long as you believe in yourself.
And I told the officers, like, oh, I'm just here for a quick dip in the hot tub. And they're like, sir, you're wearing your clothes.
Most of like my tias and my tios live in Vegas. I have for sure over 100 blood cousins in Vegas.
I am not where I want to be, and that's good. I don't want to be comfortable, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. What does a typical, fitness trainer make, on a weekly basis? How do you, if you mind sharing some numbers?
Man.
With that.
CEO InMotion. CEO InMotion. CEO InMotion. CEO InMotion.
All right, well, we're live. CEO InMotion with Paul. Man, it's so good to see you. We postponed this like a couple of times. I think I did.
Weather issues,
scheduling. And you know what?
Yeah. And it's still.
Yeah, right now, guys.
Hopefully it gets.
It's raining a bit outside. I'll put some footage on here, but we're gonna go for it. And it's cool, man. And what I like about your story and what I know is you've held your own business, for more than 5 years. You qualify as the less than 1%er of entrepreneurs.
Yeah, that's true.
Who start a business and continue after 5 years. And what's more important is that you survived a pandemic. You're a personal fitness guy.
That was rough.
How do you train when you can't meet with people? So let's start with that. Tell me about your brand, where people can start finding you. We're gonna put the handle right here, but
okay,
just share with us.
So Polyg Fitness LLC, and I do functional training. So basically, having you move better, and the difference with how I see health and fitness is basically being able, and that's it. Being able.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it, but that's good. That's
so there's
really
a lot
good.
of people that chase the aesthetic look, that's great in hindsight, especially if you have specific goals like you have a wedding or maybe a bachelor party, maybe you have a photo shoot for the first time you're going to do and you just want to look extra good. Then yeah, that's great. However, longevity wise, I pursue in having the passion for changing people's quality of life. So making sure that just the day-to-day tasks are that much easier. Staying out of the doctor's offices and not being prescribed any kind of medication. So
what's your range of group of people then? Does that vary versus like athletes versus is it older people with injuries? Like
I've tried athletes before.
Yeah.
And it's fun because you have to reach in your bag. You know what I mean? Like you really have to show out and then understand the body to really decipher which approach you're going to take. Maybe somebody needs a little bit more stability. Maybe somebody needs more like fast switch muscles. However, I want to relate to the mass majority of people who need the most help. And that's going to be anywhere from, your 25 years of age to like 55 years of age. But in my 10-year career, I've definitely helped people as young as 11 years old.
Oh, really?
I currently have an 11-year-old right now. He actually has like slight scoliosis, so I'm helping him with that.
Wow, okay.
And then I have somebody who's as the age of 73.
What are you teaching them? How to?
She's actually a competitive dancer.
Oh, okay.
So the dance studio, Dance With Me?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay.
So right now
Wow,
she's
73.
She's in Spain for a dance competition right now.
73 and dancing in a competition in Spain. That's great. So obviously mobility is important for them. Is there a different type of training that requires for a physical trainer to kind of go through to specifically work in mobility versus aesthetics?
Yeah. So there's the general fitness, right? And then there's bodybuilding, which I believe social media is probably like 90% advocate for bodybuilding.
Look at my pecs. Look at my
just
physical results, but they get injured a lot, no? Like people that go into the heavy.
There is. So let's say if you took your general bodybuilder and you try to have them go and run away from a dog, they're pulling a hamstring. They're tweaking something.
That's funny.
But for the dancer specifically, she's hypermobile. so she's like extra flexible. Like you would not guess her age. And then
That's amazing. 73 and
Yeah.
keeping like her, you know,
so
her flexibility.
her story was she lost her significant other and she found her home with dance, like so she could express herself and her emotions and everything else. And I actually trained her daughter back at 24 Hour Fitness. That was when I started early in my career. And she had a torn meniscus, so that was one of my very first clients that I worked with like a serious injury, and got her walking normal again, and that all worked out. And then 5 years later, she ended up twisting her knee and her ankle in a manhole, like at work while she was pressing a cart. So she came back to me, got her back to walking again, along with physical therapy because those injuries were very recent.
Yeah.
And then her mom came to one of the sessions and decided, she's like, oh, you know, I like the way you handle my daughter, I guess
That's
you
so
could say.
great.
And so that's how she's been working with me now.
So you do a lot of referrals. Is it people that are finding you through your social media? Like how are you
Paul
generating
Geraldo.
business?
Fitness.
So I want to talk about that because I saw your
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great. Like, you know, I'm always wearing like the hat, or I wear something and people are like, well, isn't it kind of boring? I was like, yeah, I mean, you got great hair, you know, and people are like, why are you wearing a hat when you have hair? There's people that are balding that tell me like, hats are for guys like us, not you.
Right.
And I laugh about it, but being on brand always like kind of helps. And I
Definitely
have my
helps.
Instagram account right here.
Okay.
Who designed your logo? What's the creative behind it? Because I really like it. I really like the PG Fitness.
Yeah, PG. So Paul Geraldo,
Mhm.
and then the fitness under it, and the G is actually an arm, like a bicep.
Yeah. Woo, that you're
Right.
Wow, man.
And then-
Woo.
And then the P is flipped backwards just for like an aesthetic look. But my
Yeah.
cousin did it.
Okay, so
My cousin,
family, yeah.
my cousin Gio. You know, we're living together. And
Shout out to Gio.
Thank you, Gio. And so we're living together, and I wanted to venture out after being put through an ultimatum with the corporate gyms, and I was like, you know what? I was like, let me see what's good. You know, I want to test for myself, and I want to see if I could really do it, because everybody that I had talked to previously that was in the corporate setting said that training on your own and not being within actual gym was almost impossible. And I was like, well, you don't know me. So I
like
decided
that.
to challenge myself, and I made it a point to show it to other people that it can be done as long as you believe in yourself.
That's the limiting beliefs. That's one thing that you and I have in common. We're both fire walkers.
Yes.
So is that where you learned the limiting beliefs? So and so for those of you who don't know what fire walking is, we did the Anthony Robbins Unleash the Power Within.
Tony Robbins?
Anthony
Yeah,
Robbins.
yeah,
I guess I
yeah.
call him Anthony Robbins. Yeah, Tony Robbins.
Yeah, Tony Robbins. It was a Unleash the Power Within. The year I did it was 2016, and I was at the San Jose Shark Stadium.
Nice. How big was that?
At the time, I mean, he continues to progress, but I think it was like 15,000 people. Or
Oh, I think that's
or-
definitely on the top tier for the personal.
yeah. He had
Right now he
Pitbull
does
come
biggest
out.
ones, but
That was tight.
Pitbull.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pitbull came
Pitbull
out.
his
Yeah.
Pitbull's his dog. Pitbull's his guy.
Mhm.
The idea about going to these things is, yeah, it's cool that we walked on fire, but it's destroying these limiting beliefs. So that's kind of what you're talking about here. Where like, watch me, you know,
Right.
tell the naysayer something.
Yeah, so it was mine was a 3-day seminar. Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's 3
So,
days. I
like,
think
if
it
you-
changed after COVID.
Oh, he does them all virtual now.
I think he just started on the personal, but yeah, during COVID, you had to break like a wooden board. It just wasn't a school, but he actually expanded to more people because you can fit, you know, 100,000 people on a Zoom call. You know,
I did not know that.
yeah, he does.
Wow.
Financially, for him, is a lot better
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
because he doesn't have to travel, fly, everything, and now you can buy
can
tickets
stay
for
within his
100,000.
routine and-
Yeah, he's done like now millions of people. But I think the engagement of the community and fire walking and in person and seeing people, it's an amazing experience. Did you get burned doing the fire walking?
No, I did not. No.
Do people ask you that? Like, is it real? Like, do people ask you? Like,
Yeah, they're like, is it real? I thought it was like, I don't know. I could see people shoveling coal straight out of a wheelbarrow.
So that was me. I
With,
eventually I ended up being on the other side. So I know it's real.
Yeah. So
It's hot, man.
I think so. It was after the third day, and I believe we spent anywhere from 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes chanting and the chant was "Cool Moss."
Oh, that's how you guys did it. Okay.
So it was "Cool Moss," and we just kept saying it over and over and over. And prior to saying that, he was kind of getting into our head that the brain is able to do unimaginable things like
plasticity, neuroplasticity. So your brain
Right.
changes and it adapts, and we're able to do things that normally we couldn't. What it did for me is that it flipped a switch, and then in my mind, after I did the fire walking, I left thinking like, well, what else,
what else can you do?
can I do that I already thought was impossible?
Right.
And it changes a flip, it changes a switch in your head, and then you can start attempting doing different things. Where are you born? Where'd you start? Like, where'd you grow up? What was your background?
Born and raised in Vegas.
Huh?
A rare breed.
You should be you're a Vegas local.
Vegas
Got
local.
it, Vegas local.
I was north side, so like
Wow.
MLK and Gowan area.
Did you ever live anywhere else?
I went to so when I went to the Tony Robbins event, I was living in San Jose.
Oh, got it. Okay.
For about 10 months, I did door-to-door sales with residential solar. I never really went to college, and that was
Solar.
like my college experience because 5 of my other cousins were gonna go do it, and there was a team of like 40 of us, anywhere from like 18 to 30,
Yeah.
and I was 25 or 26 at the time. So
Were you successful at solar? I hear it's like just crushingly hard and competitive as hell.
I mean, yeah, it's competitive. For PG&E at the time, it wasn't competitive because it just made sense. Their rates were so high, and the only difference is that what they're paying now
Uh-huh.
for their solar reps is like 100x times what we were getting paid in 2016.
Oh, so they make bank now.
Oh, yeah, you could make great money back then.
What's
Now
great
it's
money?
even-
Like, what was your best month in solar? Making,
I mean, I didn't go crazy, and the reason being is
Was it like
because
$3
of the freedom.
grand, $5?
It was like 6,500.
Okay,
I believe.
that's good money, and that's also years back. But now you're saying that there's people that can make a lot more.
Yeah, so for me to make 6,500, I believe I sold and closed about 5 deals, and you could do that now in one deal. Yes.
Shit, let's start banging on some doors, man.
Right.
Let's get on the side business. So I mean, you're full on like entrepreneur. So obviously you did solar, you did some sales.
Mm-hmm. And that's what gave me the confidence, honestly, because I left 24 Hour Fitness as a fitness manager, running a team of 12 personal trainers
Okay.
with a monthly budget of like 60,000, I believe, at the time. And I was killing it. I was crushing it. And I remember talking to my GM, like, hey, like, this opportunity came up with my family. I want to go take it. And he was like, are you sure, man? Like, you're doing really good here. The future looks bright for you at 24 Hour Fitness. The district manager came down, tried to talk me out of it, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna do it. So I went, had my fun, realized, after doing the math, I was like, I'm making like 3% on the sale of what the actual solar system costs. I was like, this is bullshit. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I actually, in the middle of closing another deal,
Yeah.
I had referrals that I can go knock on like a couple doors down, multiple referrals. He was a fireman, and I was just like, I don't want to.
You just didn't want to get that anymore because
I didn't care for it anymore. Like at the end of the day, I was like, okay, cool. I'm saving these people money on solar.
you weren't inspired anymore. You lost. the
Right. I'm like,
inspiration.
what are they doing with their savings? Whatever they want. It's not really helping them. It's, I don't know, giving them
see.
more access to go into diving for whatever they like to do.
Do you have siblings here? Family, parents? Like, what's that status like?
My dad has been in Cabo for almost 20 years.
Wow.
He got deported when I was 12. And then
Do you see him?
I used to go 3 times a year.
Going to Cabo 3 times a year is not so bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I used
so-
to go 3 times a year. I made it a point to where, I wanted to see him because even when I was 12 years old and he was deported, he would make a phone call via payphone or using somebody's phone every day.
What is that like when your
years.
dad gets deported and you're 12 years old?
Good question. I actually felt responsible for it for a very, very long time.
Why?
Because so what happened was he was at work. I was with his ex-wife, and I wasn't having any fun, and I was really bored, and I just wanted him to come home. So I called him up. Hey, where you at? Still at work? All right, cool. Can you hurry home? I'm bored. He's like, all right, cool. He ended up saying, he got caught speeding, and when that happened, they checked all his papers and stuff, and that's what they deported him.
Wow.
So I felt guilty for like the longest time. Like I felt like I was the reason why. But he ended up coming back 3 times.
He did come back 3 times?
Through the tunnels.
There's tunnels?
Yeah.
Has he told you the whole story, how that works?
Yeah, he did. I'll never forget it. He was like, one day, he was like, I don't know if they're making these tunnels smaller or I'm getting bigger. He was like, but it's getting hard now. That's funny.
Do people walk, crawl? Like, well, I mean,
Like,
it must be like a long tunnel.
Through the, yeah, through the desert, whatever border is closest, whether it's Arizona or California or whatever.
I see now videos on X, and there are literally hundreds of thousands of immigrants just, I guess, coming in now. Just, there's no tunnels anymore. They're just like walking across and running, and it's a whole stampede nowadays. So I don't understand how we go from one place to the other, you know?
Me neither. Yeah, I don't know, and it sucks.
Do you
Because
still feel guilty?
No, not anymore. Nah,
Good.
I don't.
You can't hold on to that. Yeah.
I let that get past me. I think I worked through that.
But he got
now,
found 3 times, which means, did he get 3 more speeding tickets?
No, so the very last time that he ended up getting caught, he was going past the border, and he had like X amount of drugs in the car.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
And so we're at a stoplight right here, right? Let's say where that bus stop is at.
Mm-hmm.
That he made it past the border into the States, and then his car broke down that he was in
With all the
drugs
stuff.
in it. And so what happened was he got out, he started pushing the car.
He's trying to cross the border with
Border
drugs
Patrol,
illegally.
Yeah, a Border Patrol officer started helping him push the car.
Oh my God, this is great.
And then a couple more guys came up, and everything was good. Like they were all pushing him. He was trying to get to his destination, whatever. And then one unit came, and they had a dog, and the dog started going crazy. And then they like cut the tires, and they did all this shit and found it. And then so they,
bro, that's like a movie. One of those things where like you got the nervousness, you're crossing the border, you have illegal drugs in the car.
He technically made it.
You go through the border, and then your car breaks down, and then the cops are actually pushing you and helping you.
It's a crazy story.
And then the K9 like sort of kind of came in and ended that. Have you ever been in trouble yourself?
Yep. Yep.
Younger?
It was all when I was younger.
Okay, you want? Can I ask about that? What kind of trouble did you get into?
When I was 18, I got a DUI.
Okay.
And I was in jail for like 4 days, whatever. My mom, she was like, "No, you're gonna learn." So she didn't bail me out.
Okay.
I
Good.
Like,
At least that
did the
was
whole
responsible.
whatever time it was supposed to be. And then another time, I got arrested, and I was in a holding tank in like Hollywood.
In LA?
Yeah, in LA.
Was it
Downtown Hollywood or
fighting
something
and
like that?
drunk in public? What was
it was public intoxication, but the reason why, like, I was upset about it. So you know when you're pulling up to an intersection and you kind of like do that California roll because you're about to turn right?
Yeah, that you kind of.
Yeah, so I was walking on the crosswalk, and I seen a car do that, and it almost hit me, so I slapped my hand on the hood, and it happened to be a cop.
You.
I was like, oh.
But it wasn't in a cop car. It was just a regular.
No,
car?
it was like an SUV. Yeah, it was a cop car.
Oh, it was. So you didn't even realize that it was a cop car, and you slammed down on the
drunk.
cop car.
Yeah, no, I almost got hit. I was like, dude, what the fuck? So I smacked the car, and I kept walking, and by the time I even knew it, like, I was up against the wall. Handcuffs were already on me. My ex at the time was going crazy, like, you didn't even read him his Miranda rights, whatever.
Oh, your ex saw you getting arrested, pull over, handcuffed?
We were with a group. There was like 10 of us. And yeah, and so because she wouldn't stop, they ended up throwing her in the truck with me, and there was like 4 other people. Like, they were in a van. Like, they were just trying to get people.
They were just scooping people up as they're going down to Hollywood, or, you know.
And that one was the worst one.
That's your second or your third, or how many do you have?
3.
What's the
3.
third?
Only one DUI. The other one,
Drunk in public.
yep. And then what was the other one? I don't remember. Maybe it was only twice. Yeah, maybe it was only twice.
As you obviously change your life, we learn from mistakes. I got arrested once on Christmas Day and handcuffed and thrown into
On Christmas Day?
On Christmas Day, it was December 25th. I went out the night before. I had a few drinks, shots. They had this thing, $1 make you holla. So it was like $1 for a shot. I had $10 under my name. I was like, man, I can get nice and toasty with this.
Oh,
So
for
I
sure,
gave the
yeah.
$10. I remember waking up and there was like flashlights on me, and I was floating on a hot tub. and I couldn't tell whether the day was like gray like this, where
Okay,
I was like,
like
is it
gloomy,
rainy?
yeah.
Is it at night? Is it in the morning? Well, it was about like 5:30 in the morning, like the sun was peeking up, like and I'm looking at my surroundings, and I told the officers, like, oh, I'm just here for a quick dip in the hot tub. And they're like, sir, you're wearing your clothes. And I was fully dressed in the clothes from the night before, from the nightclub or whatever.
Yeah.
Dress shoes, pants,
Everything in the water.
like long sleeve shirt, and I was just like in the hot tub. So I convinced them that I actually lived. It was a gated community that I trespassed, and I said, no, officers, I live here. Well, I bullshitted my way until I convinced him to go knock on a house, and of course they knocked on the house. The guy who owns the house opened the door. The police officer asked, like, does this guy live here? They said no, and I got arrested my ass on Christmas Day. So they handcuffed me. I was wet. I looked cut up,
wet.
bro. And I was just in the back of the cop car, and I must have looked completely miserable, wet, handcuffed on Christmas Day on my way to, the drunk tank in San Diego. And the police officer looked in the rearview mirror. He said, "Where do you live, son?" And I said, "This is my address." And he exited and he dropped me off. He uncuffed me, and I ran into my house. And I don't know who the officer is. I never got booked. I never got charged. Like, I don't know what happened. I've never been able to.
Dang.
So
So you didn't get the full experience.
I didn't get the whole thing. I just got
you
the
didn't-
handcuffs and my ass wet, and that was it.
You didn't do the knitted tarantaras with the
I didn't.
the tube socks and
my
the
record-
slip-on sandals, the orange jumpsuit. You didn't do all that?
No, man. So
I
I
did.
just seen it. So I got arrested, handcuffed, and then let go as a Christmas miracle. So that's as close as I've been on that. And in all honesty, I should have gone pulled over many times for drunk driving and multiple other things.
Unfortunately, I feel like there's way more people that would say they've done the same.
Yes, and so that's that. I think somehow I've been blessed and not. I changed my ways too. So like we both have like different lives now. So what about siblings? Your siblings live here? Like
I have an older sister that's 12 years older than me. My brother's 8 years older than me. And then I have 2 sisters in Mexico. One is 14 years younger than me. And then
Wow.
the other one is 16 years younger than me.
okay, so much younger.
So I'm like I was the youngest child, and then I became the middle child. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so my dad, he comes from a family of 14. He's the second youngest.
Damn, Mexicans just they
I
need
know,
to get
right?
condoms, man. They
I'm
don't need
saying.
advice. They just need
And
to get a
so-
box of condoms. I bought a box of 36 condoms yesterday, and I always get a look because I bought a box of 36 condoms and a hot sauce Valentina, and I was like, "Yep, this is my shopping for the day." You always get a look when someone,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You just have to. Like I come from a very big family too. I have an uncle that has like 20 children. I don't even know them all. You can't keep up with all these cousins. I have many cousins. I'm the youngest of the youngest on my mom's side, and my dad had like 6 siblings, like 14. Like that's nuts.
So most of like my tias and my tios live in Vegas. I have for sure over 100 blood cousins in Vegas. And that's just from my dad's side. Like my mom's side is just as big. Yeah.
Your dad was a G, man. Oh man, wow,
Yeah.
100 cousins. That's big. That's definitely Mexican. Do you know them? Do you guys get together for like Christmas or holidays? Like, do everybody get along?
When we were younger, yes. And then you may have experienced it yourself, or maybe other people that are watching. I just feel like as you get older, families drift away
Absolutely.
a little bit, whether it's personal fights going on between, you know, this mom, that mom, this brother, that brother, whatever, and then the kids kind of follow suit because they want to back up their parent.
Yeah, like break up by association kind of thing, like the relationships with the family.
Yeah, which sucks because we used to be very close. All the cousins used to be very close, and I've always been like the middle person to where like nobody's ever really hated on me or had problems with me.
You're a very nice
so
guy.
I still talk to all sides of my family.
I see you, you know, mostly every week when I'm in town. I see how your clients look at you. I see how you care for them. I see how many hours you're putting in the gym, either training or helping others or just yourself, you know, working out. It's a good quality of yours. It's a good quality that people see it and it doesn't go unnoticed. What does a typical, you know, fitness trainer make, you know, on a weekly basis? How do you, you know, if you mind sharing some numbers, if you're comfortable with that?
I'm not where I want to be, but I've definitely gotten milestones. Like I like just being where we're at. So living in Summerlin, at Elysian, being able to run my business from there. You know, I've worked my way to become partnered with Elysian, so now I run classes for them once a month.
That's amazing.
They market me on their newsletters every month. And right now, I would say anywhere from like 1,500 a week, which isn't anything crazy. But in the past, I've done as much as like 3,000 a week.
So it varies depending on the clients, what you're doing, what you're charging.
It's 100% on me every single time.
Oh, it is on you?
Whether it's a good month, bad month, good day, bad day, I always look in the mirror.
I like that.
I'm the only one to blame.
There's a saying that I frequently practice and I hear myself saying, because like you, wherever I am in my finances, in my life or whatever, I always think more can be done. There's more to achieve. More can be done. You know, that's why I have a tattoo that says Kaizen, which means continuous improvement in all aspects of my life. But there's a saying, it's a Japanese word. It's an awesome
there's
concept.
Kaizen sushi.
Yes, that was the first sushi I went here.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, oh my god, it's literally
The one with
tattooed
the
on my
little
arm.
track
Yes.
of the sushi?
It's got
Yeah.
and it's got the trucks that drive you
Yeah.
around. Yes, Kaizen Sushi. Shout
Okay.
out to you guys.
That makes sense.
That was my first sushi place that I went to here in Las Vegas. But the saying goes like, I may not be where, you know, I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be.
100%.
And
that's exactly how I feel.
And as you grow, you continue hitting these milestones, and it's hard because we're continuously hard on ourselves.
Yep.
Yet we're so far ahead of where we used to be. Like, think about what it took, like your first week, 2 weeks. In the personal fitness space, I can only imagine how competitive it is, how difficult.
We're in Vegas.
Yeah.
There's thousands of trainers in Vegas.
Yet you are one who has, on your own, found a way to live in a place that's awesome, to also provide value to clients, to work out and to make a living. And do you help out your dad in Mexico? Do you send him any money financially, or anybody else in your family that you guys help out?
If he asks.
Okay, so you're in a position that you can do it.
Yeah.
And see, and that didn't exist on the first week that you started your business.
Definitely not.
And it didn't exist the first month probably. And so
Nope.
and so that's something that I myself want to point out, as the same time that I want to hear myself saying, like, I am not where I want to be, and that's good. I don't want to be comfortable, but thank God I'm not where I used to be,
100%.
because these milestones keep moving, and it's great. You know, I gotta be grateful for where I am right now, but I still have to be looking towards the future.
Yeah, they're so JC,
Yeah,
your
marketing manager.
marketing manager, we went to church this past weekend.
Oh, did
together.
you?
Yep. And
Wow, he's converting you.
and my dad tells me every day, anytime he calls me, go to church, son. But in the service, the pastor is basically saying, like, and what connected with me the most was that, you know, God will only give you the blessings that you're ready for.
That's awesome.
And no
Do
matter
you agree?
100% yes, because if I was getting all the things that I think I want now, I don't know what I would do. Like my first year when I broke 100,000, I spent all of it.
That's a
I
great
didn't
lesson.
save nothing.
That's a great lesson.
If me and you were friends, I don't care how much money you made, I bought it.
Because you were just,
That's
it
just,
was new. You didn't have the discipline for the money, for the saving, for
I didn't
what
have
to do with it.
mentors. I didn't have. I just wanted to prove to the managers at 24 who talked me down, put me in that ultimatum, that I was gonna fucking make it.
So that's the thing. Like, not only does God give us the blessings when we're ready for them, He also doesn't give us more than we can handle under the pressure. He gives us enough that if you trust Him, then it's be great. And what most people do is like, oh no, I can handle it. Let me take over. You guys go ahead. And it's like I'm playing basketball, you know, and Michael Jordan's asking for the ball, and I said, no, I got this, Jordan. I'll take the shot. You know, I got this. Come on, like I've practiced a few times, and I don't realize that like I got Jordan on my team. So when you turn that over to your creator, and he's like, Paul, I got you. If you just let me do what I have in store for you, is much bigger than the dreams that you're thinking for yourself. Because we are unequipped to dream as big as God can give us the rewards for it. So I keep moving off the post. I keep thinking bigger things, and I don't know how they're gonna happen, but they continue to happen.
Right.
And now they've happened to a bigger degree to where I thought I was gonna be, just 5 years, to where like I basically just Netflix my life. I sit back and be like, what's the next episode on Chava's life? Because I have no idea.
Yeah.
I just sit
yeah,
back.
That's awesome.
Shit, this is a cliffhanger. Oh, I lost a client, but this just happened. I'm moving over here. I'm just sitting back and watching the Netflix show of my life. And as you look at your own life, look back at the previous seasons. Look back at season 4. Look back at season 3,
Yeah,
season 2, season 1 of your journey in the fitness space.
The season that I'm in now is pretty cool because I did the grind where, you know, I had anywhere from 13 to 16 clients 6 days a week. And
That's nonstop, man.
yeah. And yeah, I got burnt out. I did that for 8 months. I was able to hold that schedule. And then I was just like, you know what? I want a little bit more of my life back.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you could attest to this. When that happened, the reason why I pulled back the reins and I took my foot off the gas pedal is because I got into a relationship. And then I had to balance out my like work life situation.
Pink or green? You have to make a choice, my friend.
I wanted both. I wanted both.
No, it's always, listen, you have to be able to balance, but at one point, once you start making a little bit more money, you have to also give back to that relationship. And in order to get out to that relationship, you have to have money. You have to have money to give back into the relationship.
As much as it sucks to say, like, that's just how it works.
I can't go buy groceries at Trader Joe's with how much I love my wife. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't pay for her car payment with, you know, an I love you sticky note every morning.
Yeah.
That nurtures the relationship, and it's really what's meaningful in the long term. Don't mistake what I'm saying. But the world does function under a premise of earning money and providing value to another person.
Yeah.
You just
Like
have
that
to-
saying is like, you know, money isn't everything, but it's right up there with oxygen.
I don't think I've heard that, but that's
No,
great. No,
yeah.
that's great. So they say like money is the root of evils and all these things, but really what the Bible says is the love for money is the root for all evils.
Greed.
Correct, and it gets mistaken when you start putting money as your primary source of attention. Like every morning, you should get up on your knees and be grateful that you woke up. Like just the fact that you can get off from your bed and get on your knees is something that millions of people would wish to do.
Yeah.
And I was just at a conference. This is my 3rd conference in 3 weeks, so I'm on conference mode
Oh, wow.
this month.
Okay.
And there was a guy, Nick. I'm gonna tell you his his story is unbelievable, but he was born with a very rare medical condition where I believe, I think 9 out of 10 people with this condition die by the age of 10. Anyways, he's got no legs, no arm, and his other arm only has one finger. and he is incredible. He actually did a whole tour with Tony Robbins around the world, like
did he?
just speaking. Extremely motivational, amazing, and he's on the stage, and he's I guess in his move, he's moving around the stage, and he says one thing that I just catch him like, man, what a great sense of humor. He said, all right guys, can I get a clap? He's like, because I can't do it. And then I just realized, like, oh my god, this man has gone 30-40 years of his life and he's never been able to clap. That simple motor skill that a 2-year-old learns and then just do it. He's never been able to do it. And instead of being depressed, instead of being negative with himself, instead of being down with God and hating and everything, he's grateful because now he can carry that message to another person that it's all about the attitude. And a lot of people get down and negative on many other things, and there's family members, and I know there are people that just think their life is miserable and they think they have it down, just negatively. But then I look around and I was like, you got 2 legs, you got 2 eyes, you got 2 ears, you got your full motor skills, you got a job, you're making this, like, why are you so negative on life? That's where really mindset comes into play.
Yeah. Oh, talking about 2 eyes. I heard you went blind once.
Yeah, JC.
What is up with that?
It was for a little bit of a time, but yeah, I climbed the Mount Elbrus, and it's the tallest mountain in Europe. Elbrus.
Okay.
So there's 7 summits of the world, 1 for each continent. It's basically the tallest mountain in every continent.
Oh, okay.
So Africa is Kilimanjaro. The Europe one is called Elbrus. The Asia one is Everest. The one in North America is Denali. Aconcagua, South America. Anyways, there's 7 peaks of seven mountains.
How many have you done?
I've done 2 of the 7.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, this one in Russia is cold as shit. I've never been in cold exposure at that level. And yeah, I got like ice crystals on my goggles, and then I had to take them off because I couldn't see as I was climbing. The wind knocked over my pole, like, yeah, it was pretty crazy. So the way I guided myself down the mountain was by shouting. People behind me were shouting based on the clock numbers.
Yeah.
12, 6, 3, 9. They would guide me. They'd be like 2 o'clock, and they're like screaming, and then I have to like shift my body to the 2 o'clock because I was leading the mountain down because I was the least experienced. So I was at the end going up and at the front going down.
Damn.
And it was. I'll show you a picture of what I look like. Gabby will put a clip right here for the B-roll. Dude, I had the beard. I was crying. I thought I was gonna die. That's crazy. It's not. For anyone who watches this who's like an experienced mountain climber, maybe it's a piece of cake. I don't know.
Right.
For me, it was completely.
What made you want to do that?
Because I'm nuts. I wore a shirt that said "Never Stop," and I was willing to die on this mountain just so that I could hit a box. I have no off switch.
Okay.
And if I go for it, I'm going for it.
All right.
So it took me a year and a half. So yeah, the eyes, everything as you do and as you move into this stuff, I always try to attempt new things that are different.
Yeah.
For you, what is the mindset that you have like in the morning to get you going and helping make a difference in your clients' lives?
So the season that I'm in, and this is what resonated with me with that last service that I went to with JC, was you're at where you're at, and that's where you're supposed to be because it's God's plan.
Yeah.
Recently, I've been able to create a schedule for myself where I can, take 4 clients in the morning, take a 3-hour gap in the middle of my day, and then take another 4 at night.
Okay, so that's how you break up your day. No wonder you're busy all day. Gotcha.
Yeah. So it makes it easy versus trying to continue to do 12 hours a day. I just take 8.
Okay. And you're comfortable with the finances. Are you saving? Are you investing? Do you know what you're doing with your money?
No. No.
We should sit down separately outside cameras, and then
I would definitely be open to that.
Some ideas, what I did. You don't have to follow them. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, but I've made money and I've made bad decisions.
Right.
But I've made great ones. And I'm probably if I wanted to live the rest of my life on my own, I could probably do it now and just completely like
Stop
not
working?
do nothing, anything the rest of my life. Yeah.
Well, hats off to you.
That's if but I don't live alone. I have a wife.
Yeah.
I have two
and
dogs.
yeah.
I have families. I have moms, sisters, siblings. Like
employees.
I have a lot more. But if I wanted to
Yeah.
on my own and say, see ya, I could, move to Thailand and, do my thing over there. But the thing about that is that it becomes a little bit selfish because then I'm only thinking about myself.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're no longer giving
correct.
back.
You're no longer, which is really, I love that line of the purpose of living is giving. So
That's
so
cool.
so
Yeah.
once you get into that point and then you start giving, yeah. In order for me to give more, I need to make more.
Yeah.
So people are like,
Yep.
you've made $1 million. What? Oh my God, I'm forfeiting my rules. Like put your phone on silent. Somebody's calling. It says scammer of all things.
Spam likely.
Scam likely. Sometimes I spam scammers. How do I cancel? There you go.
So yeah, financially, I definitely say I'm comfortable, but then again, I shouldn't be.
Well, you gotta set up for the future. See, the best thing that you can do is start planning ahead because 5 years from now you won't know. 3 years from now, and there's nothing probably more scary than being 60, 65. Like I don't know, your parents and then not having enough money to live. Yeah. And then having your children have to pay for you is very difficult. And I see that
Yeah.
on my mom, and she made a lot of money in the last few years of her career, but she also spent it, with her family. And my mom loves to travel. I don't know if how your relationship is with your mom or whatnot, but I'm extremely close and extremely blessed to be able to help, and that's a different.
Yeah. Thankfully, I used to have this mindset, and then I kind of got away from it. My mom taught me to always have 6 months of my lifestyle in savings, to where if anything drastically happened, car broke down, or I have cats, so needing to go to the vet.
What do you mean
for
you
them.
have cats, man? Why do you have cats?
I got 2 cats. Personally, there's gonna be a lot of people that hate on me, but I like them more than dogs.
Just kidding. I'm highly allergic to cats.
Are you?
And I had a girlfriend at a time where
You
she had like 2
sniffly yet?
cats. I'll get like irritated, like whatever. But it's not like I'm not gonna cry about it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is like
You've seen them. It's the black
Yes,
and
I've
gray
been
one.
there. Yeah. And you have cute cats. That's the thing
They're
too.
dope. They're awesome.
So you have cats. You
Uh-huh.
have a lifestyle that you have to pay for things. You
Right.
have to, get things done.
I could help my dad out if I needed. I could help out anybody.
Do you ever go to shows? I mean, we're driving down the strip. I'm getting bombarded with like
So
50 different shows on here.
I had a client who worked for, I forget their name. Who's the one that does all the crazy shows, like the Love Show? Who is that? Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil, yeah.
Cirque du Soleil. So she was like the event coordinator or something like that. I forget.
Okay, so big deal.
She was high up. Her name is May. She lives in Singapore right now.
Okay.
And she basically got me free tickets to all the shows
Oh,
when I was
nice.
training her.
Wait, dude? Call her back. Give her free.
Right.
Give her free training for all the
Yeah.
shows.
And honestly, so I believe that anybody has a passion for what they do is always going to say that they have the best job in the world. And I'm going to say it right now. Like, I think being a personal trainer is the best job in the world.
Oh, that's cool. Tell me 3 things that you love about your job.
I make my own schedule.
Okay.
What people are paying me for is something that they can carry on for life. So the knowledge that they gain, the confidence that they gain, the experience that they have, they can end up doing that forever.
So they can take it with themselves.
Yep. So it's not like
Make your own schedule.
Uh-huh.
They take their lessons that they learn with you to their
Yep.
own lives. What's the third one?
And once I get there, because I eventually do want to do it, is I want to help other trainers build their business.
Perfect. There we
So
go.
now I can start having a team, and then I can just multiply myself.
There you go. So now we're gonna talk this part about the business part of being a fitness trainer. So you have limited amount of hours. So there's definitely a ceiling cap financially of how much money you can make. You can continue raising your hourly,
Right.
but it'll be a point to where people won't pay that much, and you're gonna start losing people. So there's a finite number of people you can take at a finite amount of money, right? You can charge. You can start with $20 an hour, then you get a lot of people. Then you can go up to $50 an hour, you'll drop some people. You'll go to $100 an hour, fewer people can do it. Maybe you can charge $250 an hour, but then fewer people are gonna be able to pay you that.
Right.
If you start charging $1,000 an hour, you know, dime a dozen that are gonna wanna pay that amount of money. So you'll find your very small window where that number is. In order to grow, then, is how do you grow a business, and that is by training other people to how to create this business.
Yeah, create a team. We're in 2024, and you know there's a lot of people that work remote, and online training is huge right now, and that's a market that I haven't tapped yet.
Okay.
Which I'm still developing on my side for the systems that I'm putting into play, and JC's actually been helping me with that.
Perfect. I see you're doing content. I see you're doing more
all
stuff.
the behind the scene content.
I see you're doing, and that obviously, like, you know, obviously helps a lot for us. The way I've learned, and I'm gonna have my, you know, my guy, my barber, my man Zay, Cuts by Zay. Shout out to you, brother, right now. I learned a lot from him about making a business, about a skill like that. So the same goes for barber as it goes for personal fitness. There's a finite number of people that can afford, you know, a $200 haircut. There's a lot more people that can afford a $20 haircut. And so how does a barber go from, you know, making, you know, $25 an hour or $25 a haircut, whatever it is, to making $10, $15, $20,000 a month? And he shared with me the story of how he's doing it. And it is through teaching other barbers how to scale. And so he started his social media brand. He reached out to me as an influencer. He said, hey, what's up, man? Like, I'd like to cut your hair. And I said, come on board, man. I'll give you a couple of shout outs. I love what he did.
Okay.
And now he's my barber. And now I actually pay him every time I go, just because he's doing his work and everything. And now he doesn't take no clients, because now he teaches people from all over the world how to create business. He's got clients in Europe.
Is it specifically with hair, or is it any
he's just a barber.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I said just a barber, but he's obviously skillful. But he'll tell you, like, there's barbers that are better than me. But as far as the business goes, like, I know how to build the business. And now he coaches barbers from all over. So the same strategies that he's doing is similar. It applies to you. You work in an industry where you're limited by the number of clients you can take.
So many hours in a day.
Correct. And so then you need to scale up. So those are the things that it's really impressive. And I'll tell you this. He joined a mastermind that was thousands of dollars to get in order to learn this skill.
Right.
And now he did so well out of it that now he's one of the coaches teaching other people. Yeah. So as I hear that, I see the parallels in what he did versus what you want to do. And it's totally possible. I see it, like I've seen it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's amazing.
So again, with the thousands of trainers that are here in Vegas, I definitely have a big pool of colleagues that I've worked with, or, you know, that I reach out to, or maybe we'll see because we follow each other on social media. And there are some guys that are just straight up killing it online with personal training, like just 100% online coaches. And do I aspire to be like them? Maybe on a financial side, sure. Who wouldn't want to make, you know, $80,000 a month or $30,000 a month from personal training? You know what I mean? I personally just like being with somebody in person.
So you wouldn't completely remove the in-person, you know, personal training part of it?
I don't think so.
Because it literally is called personal training.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, this thing got some kick, huh?
I didn't want to do it harder because it's raining.
Yeah.
And because there's gravel right now. But I usually fuck with people and then just step on it and their head just like snaps back.
So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna get there, and JC's been helping me with that in regards to the content and, you know, putting together some very crisp videos. I think you guys and what you do as a whole for a business is top tier, and that's why you guys are at where you're at.
It's taking a lot of growth, but also damn man, a lot of misses. Like
Yeah.
I am of the belief that I'm my own umpire, so I'm the one who says you're out. But if I continue to swing the bat and swing, at one point I'll hit a home run, and it happened with the InMotion, media group business, and then it started with the social media, and then we just keep swinging. That's literally what InMotion is about. It's like we're always trying new things and changing things up and moving, and
so you've definitely honed in on the mindset of adaptability.
yeah, I can't think that everything is gonna work out perfectly the first time, and it just doesn't work like that, or it hasn't worked out for us like that.
Right.
And yeah, it's different, man. To me, like I've also worked out with a lot of personal trainers, and I hear, and I've seen all the different behaviors from all of them. From guys that were all like ex-Marines, and they're all jacked up and short hair and everything. Shout out to Keith and 619 in San Diego, personal trainer.
There you go.
That was my first trainer ever, and I was like, oh my god, this is how much it is, but I really wanted to, and that's the first time that I learned about creatine and different things that
Okay.
he really like pushed me in a different direction. Personal trainer, amazing. Then I ended up Powerhouse. So Powerhouse was like a big deal here for
Vegas?
the elite. Yeah.
Okay.
The Powerhouse here in Vegas is like for those elite, athletes that are world champions in bodybuilding.
Right.
So the owner of the Powerhouse here in Las Vegas, she's won like 8, Miss Olympia, like
What's do you
bodybuilding.
remember her name?
God, why am I blanking on her name? She's the most award, athlete in this sport in history, more than Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger had 7.
Wow.
She's got 8. She's a stone killer, obviously.
I don't know her name.
Anyways, I went there, and and
She
then
trained you?
No, I don't think I could afford her. But it gave me a different mindset, because everybody that was there was super jacked. I mean, they're training to be bodybuilding.
Right.
And everything. But I got an awesome trainer. Her name is Didi. Shout out to Didi. She trained me, and she's amazing. She's 60. Bro, she is ripped and in incredible shape. Just
Yeah.
complete,
I believe age is
dedication
just a
to
number.
the fitness. And I just learned like from mindsets and from different people, and in certain pockets of my time where I need that extra sort of like, I know that these people are gonna sort of like murder me and get me into this, but just like you asked me earlier, why did you do the mountain? I was like, because if I decide to do something, I want to go all in.
Right.
Which is one of those things when you and I have talked about, like, hey, when are we doing the concept? Like, I'm not ready to be all in, because once I'm in, like, I know I'm gonna have to do it.
Yeah.
And I have so many balls floating in the air right now with the podcast, the businesses, like just different things. We got a new dog, and all the responsibilities kind of like shifted, and it's just
Right.
like a whole
But
different thing.
we've talked before, and I know that you enjoy this.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
being in motion, constantly moving, always having fun. I don't know if you guys know, but Chava fucking works. I never not see him just not doing anything.
Yeah,
He's always doing something.
it's always in motion.
Always in motion. 24/7. Well, I don't see you 24/7. But every time I see
cameras
him
in my house.
every time I see him, he's doing something that's related to business. And I love it. And I appreciate being able to be with you, become a friend, because at first, we were just strangers passing each other.
Yeah.
And when did I move in there? 9 months ago?
Yeah, but I see your dedication
Yeah.
in your craft. I see your dedication in your job. Yeah, everything is different. I'm actually, now that I'm driving here, I want to go see David Copperfield tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
That's a magic show now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
David, bro, I think he's like the oldest magician here. I don't even know how he's still pulling it off. Cause how do you do a show for
same
like
tricks.
yeah, but 30 years, like you get no days off. Like if you're Cirque du Soleil, you got like multiple people. You got
Right.
everything. But if you're you are the magician. Like you can't replace anybody else. You can't take a day
Yeah,
off.
that's true.
If you
Sick
get
days.
sick, like people bought your tickets already, bro. Like who else is gonna be your guy? Like I don't know how
Holidays.
do they do it. Like these what is that? The Beatles, the Michael
the
Jackson
Love Show,
one.
which I think of Cirque du Soleil is probably one of the best.
Yeah. Which one? The Beatles or the
Yeah.
Michael Jackson? Oh, I haven't seen the Beatles. I've seen the Michael
You ever
Jackson.
seen the Love Show?
I've seen Michael Jackson 3 times.
Michael Jackson is awesome. I've met Dirty Diana, the dancer at the very end on the pole.
Yeah, it's amazing.
She does not look like
No.
what you think she would look like. She's very skilled and talented. I'll give her that.
I have somebody on the queue who did Cirque du Soleil for 15 years, so she's gonna be jumping in on the podcast next month.
Oh, okay.
And she knows all the secrets about Cirque du Soleil. She did it. She finally retired.
Yeah.
She worked at the O. She worked at all the big shows here. So I'm excited to hear that. I also have someone who worked in the exotic dancing industry as well. So that one is coming up next month in the filming. Yeah, for the podcast. So we got some interesting people coming up.
Our neighbor?
Our neighbor.
No? Yes?
No.
No? Oh, okay. I thought,
She's not my neighbor.
Okay.
And but no, somebody else, and I didn't even know that was her background. So I'll just preface with that. But
Okay.
there's just so many cool different people here in Las Vegas that do so many cool things, different things. And
I think that's what I love about it. People ask me all the time. They're like, oh, you're born and raised. Like, what do you think about it?
you never run out of things.
One, I don't know any different
Mm-hmm.
because I was born and raised here. I went to San Jose where there's just nothing but valleys out there.
Yeah.
So that was weird. I didn't like that. I prefer having things 24/7. But yeah, it's like everybody in the world knows about Vegas.
It's one of those spots where I wanted to live here long time ago, and going back circle to what we were saying at the beginning, thank God it didn't happen when I wanted to live here then, because I would have destroyed myself, my life.
Could imagine, yeah.
Who knows what kind of wreckage I would have created myself if I would have made it out alive of Las
Yep.
Vegas.
And that's kind of what happened with me, and that was the reason why I had a DUI when I was 18, because I was hanging out with coworkers. I used to work at Planet Hollywood. You know the PBR Rock Bar and Grill?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I opened it when I was 18.
Okay.
And I was a busser there. And I was a horrible employee. I don't know how I didn't get fired earlier. I mean, I do know. I knew one of the owners. But
What were you horrible? Did you eat their food in the bathroom?
no. Not in the
I used to
bathroom.
do
Just
that.
like right before you throw it away. It's like, oh, that looks good. That looks like it wasn't touched. But
I used to do that, man.
yeah, I always think about it like now that I'm not in the food industry, but that's so gross. But when you're in it, it's like, fuck it. Yeah, I saw them. They didn't touch it.
Yeah.
But but I was surrounded by people who were older than me that was already stuck in that lifestyle, and the reason why I say stuck is because I feel like you can do so much more. I don't know. There's workers, and then there's owners, and then we all need workers in our lives, but
Yeah.
then there's different people, and
It's hard to manage a restaurant, man. There's no days off. People are always hungry. They complain. Employees are not always the greatest. I remember when I was 16, I had a job at Rubio's, and when they told me to go clean the bathroom, I go talk to the homie cook in the back and say, make me a lobster burrito. You make it, I put it in my thing, and I go in the bathroom, I'd eat a lobster burrito. I wouldn't clean no toilets, man, and I would come out, and that was
yeah.
that was my experience in the.
So the reason I was a bad employee is because I was
an employee.
18, living on my own. Basically, I moved in with my sister. She was never home,
Okay.
and so I basically was I was 17 at the time, and I would show up late to work, like an hour late, sometimes 2 hours late, making some lame excuse, and because I knew one of the owners, it took me forever to get fired. But on top of that, like, I don't like dealing with people talking down to me, and so I'd always cause fights.
You have the mind of an entrepreneur. You want to be able to run a business as an owner. See, I have friends that never, ever would they think about starting their own business. In fact, I have friends who, right out of college, they wanted to get a job, and that's all they wanted. They wanted a steady paycheck. They wanted a guarantee.
Yep.
They wanted the benefits. They wanted that. And for me, it was a transition from the corporate world to always trying something in the back end. It's how they say, like, from 9 to 5 is your is your regular,
And then from
job.
5 to 9
From
is
9
your
to 9 is your
dreams,
grind. Yeah, it's your grind. And for me, it was a lot longer than 5 to 9 p.m. But it paid off at one point. Where's the 90 seconds, 90 seconds? Where's the 90 days, 3 years, 5 years goals for PG Fitness?
Well, maybe that's where you come into play.
Absolutely.
And you help me out, seeking my future. I definitely want to be more involved with Elysian
Okay.
because I feel like the opportunity there is never ending. I mean, there's 350 units at at the Tivoli location, and just being able to be a part of that, like even if I was to get 10% of that, that's more than enough.
Now that you're talking about direct clients,
Yeah.
which at one point, again, you'll burn out in the amount of hours that you can take. How can you scale this in 3 years, and how can you scale this in 5 years?
Well, some of that content that I've been shooting with JC is specifically so I can pitch, hey, what's going on in there? That's a local place, I don't know.
Yeah, let's talk to these girls.
They're turned up. Let's see it.
Let's get it. We're in the middle of a podcast. There's
All right.
girls that are talking
There
to
we
us
go.
on the thing.
Oh, that's an Uber driver for
Get
sure.
it, get it. Hey, happy
Hey.
bride. There
Yeah,
you
that's
go.
a bride.
That's a bride. That's what happens in the CEO InMotion podcast. Let's see if we
Yes.
can pull up and next to them. Hey guys, we're filming a podcast. She's turned up.
Oh, the
in
other one's
middle
trying
of
to
the
get
day.
across the window.
Yeah,
We
she's
might
turned
have
up
seen
in the
some
middle.
skin.
I saw skin.
If we would have kept, we would have. Yeah.
So one of the things that I'm gonna do, like for the podcast in the next 90 days, since we're talking about goals, is that we're gonna be setting up cameras on the outside of the car so that people can see what we were seeing just now. Because right now we just saw, what is that, like a bachelorette party? Because she had the bride. thing.
Yeah.
She had a drink in her hand.
What time is
coming
it?
out?
It is
It's
2
like
o'clock.
2
They're
p.m. on a
drunk, for
Friday,
sure.
and they're having a good time.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I started this podcast, because the city of Las Vegas, it's its own character.
Oh my God.
It's like I always have
Yeah.
a guest, but the city always provides something. In this case, the bachelorette people, I've been pulled over and people like hung me, it's the Chava, and they know the car. Or I saw once like a military helicopter just flipping down the strip, and we're filming it. I've seen so many crazy things in the podcast already. In every episode, always something happens, and I just think that's very different than a traditional podcast where you just go to a room, it's always
Yeah.
the same stage, so with the same background.
Yeah.
So I appreciate very much, obviously, that you had an opportunity to come with me, that you were so down to earth, open about the personal stuff, about your dad.
I've always been an open book. I feel like some people say you shouldn't tell everybody everything, and I always think of myself, why not?
Yeah. What's there to hide? Listen,
What's there to
whatever
hide?
mistakes you've made, that we've made, if by sharing it, you're able to help somebody else, even if you don't know who that person is,
Mhm.
someone who watches this might get inspired by your words, and I think that's worth the try.
Exactly. Yeah, and being able to have that opportunity because of one, technology, because of two, just being that open book, and understanding where we were back when versus where we're at now. I don't think we had that opportunity. I mean, Instagram wasn't even. I think Instagram was out for like a year or two when I started training people.
So let's wrap this up with, what's your Instagram handle? Where can people find you?
So my Instagram handle is Paul Geraldo Fitness on Instagram. Same thing with TikTok, and as well as Facebook. So it's just first name, last name, fitness. Make it easy, make it simple, so you guys remember me.
Awesome. Well, we'll have your handle at the bottom right here on the screen throughout this whole episode. Paul, it's been an awesome time, man. We're heading back to the office.
Yes.
I'm glad it didn't rain on us today.
I know, finally we were able to do it.
We were like,
Yes.
are we gonna postpone again? So I appreciate it, man.
That was awesome.
Love you, brother.
Yeah, love you too, man.